On the night of September 6, 2012, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill was settling into what should have been another quiet academic evening. But inside an off-campus apartment just minutes from campus, something had gone terribly wrong. Faith Daniel Hedgepeth was 19 years old. She was a sophomore, a member of the Halaiwasapone Native American tribe, and known among friends for her kindness, humor, and determination. She had big plans for her future. By the next morning, she would be found brutally murdered, that night. Faith had gone out with her roommate, Karina Rosenbaum, to a local nightclub called The Thrill. They returned to their apartment around 2 a.m., along with a male acquaintance they had met that evening. According to statements, the man left shortly after, and Karina decided to spend the night elsewhere, leaving Faith alone in the apartment. There is a pause here, the kind that investigators still struggle to explain. Sometime between 2:30 a.m. and 11 a.m., someone entered that apartment. When Karina returned later that morning, she found Faith lying on her bed. She had been beaten and stabbed. The crime scene suggested intense violence, but no signs of forced entry. The killer had either been let in or already knew how to get inside. Police arrived to find an unsettling detail. Beside Faith's body was a fast food bag containing a handwritten note. The message was cryptic, almost taunting, and would quickly become one of the most disturbing elements of the case. The note read like a mock apology, referencing jealousy and rage, but it was vague enough to raise more questions than answers. Was it written by the killer, or left intentionally to mislead investigators? Before we continue, help the channel, subscribe and leave your like. Another chilling discovery followed. On Faith's cell phone, police found a voicemail. It was a pocket dial recording made during the time investigators believed the murder occurred. The audio was muffled, chaotic, and unclear, but many believe it captured fragments of the attack itself. For years, the voicemail has been analyzed by experts, enhanced digitally, and debated endlessly online. Some listeners claim to hear voices, others hear sounds of struggle. No definitive conclusion has ever been reached. As the investigation unfolded, suspicion quietly moved in many directions. Faith's personal life was scrutinized. Friends, classmates, romantic interests, all examined. The roommate was questioned extensively but was never charged. The man from the nightclub cooperated with police and was eventually cleared. DNA evidence was collected from the scene. For years, it seemed to lead nowhere. Then, in 2018, investigators made a startling announcement. DNA found that the crime scene had been linked to an individual already in the system. A man named Rosando Rodriguez Jr. was arrested and charged with Faith Hedgepeth's murder. For the first time in 6 years, it appeared the case was finally solved. But the story didn't end there. As the legal process moved forward, defense attorneys raised serious questions about the DNA evidence, its context, and whether it conclusively proved guilt. The mysterious note, the voicemail, the lack of a clear motive. In 2023, Rosendo Rodriguez Jr. was acquitted. Once again, Faith Hedgepeth's case returned to where it began, unresolved. Today, investigators maintain that the case remains open. Advances in forensic technology continue to offer hope. But time has passed, memories have faded, and key moments from that night may never be fully reconstructed. What happened in that apartment in Chapel Hill? Who wrote the note? Who was captured, if anyone, on that voicemail? And how does a case with so much evidence still end without answers? Faith's family continues to seek justice. Advocates continue to push awareness, especially for missing and murdered Indigenous women, a crisis that has long been underreported. Faith Hedgepeth was more than a case file. She was a daughter, a friend, a student, and her story deserves resolution. Thank you for watching Cold Case. 5 minutes. Subscribe and leave your like. Stay curious, and remember, every mystery deserves to be remembered.